In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Today's topic is very important and very useful as well. What is this, by the way? This is, have you seen some of the people? They were very talented. Not only talented, they were quite serious about their success as well. Yet they failed. Unfortunately, feel pity upon it. I know some of the people. You would be knowing some of the people as well. That is something we need to understand. Something we need to understand. Something we need to act upon. Because if at all we fail to understand it, if at all we fail to act upon it, what is going to happen then? We might fail because of these two reasons. We might fail because of these two reasons. So, it is important to understand. It is important to take care of those things. It is important to act upon. It is important to pay enough amount of heed to it actually. That is something very much needed and righteous. What is this? First of all, set priorities in your life. Set priorities what is important for you in the life. It is really important to know what is truly important in your life. What is genuinely necessary for you as well. Knowing this is very important because if the people who don't know it, they will pick the wrong things. They will not pick the wrong thing, they will pick the things which are not that much important. And they will consume all of their time, energies, and the rest of the resources upon it. What is going to happen as a result? As a result, we will not be able to pay proper attention to the things which really matters. We will not be able to pay proper attention to the things which really matters and which can really bring the very major important changes in our life. If we fail to understand what is really important, we will make the really unimportant thing as the important one. We will keep working, but there will be little change or improvement in our life. We must set priorities. How many of these, by the way? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. No. Three, that's fine. Fine. Five, it's okay. Set five things. You need to choose the five most important things what you think you must accomplish during your lifetime. And if at all you fail to accomplish, you will consider yourself as an unsuccessful person. Choose the five things. But these five things can be changed in the mid time as well. A very renowned guru of the motivational science, Tom Hopkins, says it's never too early to set a goal and never too late to change it. So it is very important to set the goals at the right time as early as possible, as early as possible, and then change it as and when it is needed. You can change your priorities as well. If at all something is one of the priorities, and after some of the time, you might consider that this thing is not as important as I used to think, you can remove it from the priorities. Maybe it was your number one priority, but later on you think that it is neither the number one, nor the two, nor the three, nor the four, nor the fifth, and it is now since it is not even one of the top five, so it is out of the priorities. So I think we need to set priorities, but we should be ready to change it as and when. Mean our knowledge, our information about we and about the life increases, we do have every right to change our priorities as well. We shouldn't be stubborn in it, you know. We should be flexible in it. We need to adopt a flexible approach towards it. Set priorities, set priorities, set priorities. Then Once you have chosen the five top most important things which you think you must accomplish, now these, as for the top five, these things are concerned, we need to know what is the number one most important thing, what is the number two most important thing, what is the number three, what is the number four, and what is the number five. Since all of those five things are not equally important to us, although all of these five things are important and really important to me, and I have carefully considered what should be the priorities in my life, that is how I have chosen selected these five items. But once I have chosen, still I should be ready to bring the changes in it. I might bring the number 1 to number 3. I might might take the number 5 to number 5 to number 1. I can change the priorities at any time. The more the more I know about the world, about the life, about my particular affairs, I can change my priorities. And but there, it is never too early to set the goals. Setting the goals actually means setting the priorities. I must choose the five things: number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. But remember that it is a very important examination and very important, really important trial here as well. Why? Because if at all you have chosen the wrong things as your priorities, so these wrong things are not going to bring the really important changes in your life, the really important improvements in your life. You might succeed in accomplishing those five things, but these five things will not bring the desired results, and still you will be considering yourself as a person who is not so successful at all. So it is really important to set the right sort of priorities. As per my opinion is concerned, our life and our health should be the number one priority. Our life, our health should be the number one priority, and then it should be very important that we remain righteous. Upright person never sacrifice the values, and although we are struggling for our goals, for the achievement of our goals, that's fine, that's really fine. But at the same time, we need to remain righteous. We shouldn't be, we need to become a man of principle. We need to become a person of principle, be a person of principle. Number two. Number three, really family is very important. Family is really important. It must be kept amongst the priorities, amongst the top five priorities. Family. What is meant by the family here actually? It means your spouse and your children and your parents as well. Mean the parents, the spouse, the children. This is your family. This is our family. We need to take it. We need to take it as our family, and we need to put it amongst the top five priorities. And we can keep it at the number three. What is then I think money is very important in the life of each and everything else, because money helps us a lot in achieving whatever we want to achieve. It helps us a lot in retaining whatever we want to retain. So number 4, money. Number 5, you can bring anything else, so these four are the suggested items. These are not mandatory, but as per my opinion, as per the opinion of the most people who are working in the field of the psychology, who work in the field of the motivational science, I think they will agree with me that these four things must be kept amongst the top 5 most important things in the life. On the one hand, we need to pick the 5 items. On the other hand, we need to prioritize these 5 items, because even these 5 items are not equally important. Even these 5 items are not equally important, not to talk about the other item. And we need to maximize our attention. We need to pay the maximum of our resources to these 5 items, so that we could ensure the achievement and the possession of these 5 items, particularly the number 1, then the number 2, then the number 3, then the number 4, and then the number 5. The top 5 items are very important indeed actually. And look upon the people who choose the right thing, wrong things as their priorities. choosing the wrong items as the priorities, these people will be, even if all those five items are achieved, even if all those five items are achieved, still this person is not going to become a successful person at all. Still this person is not going to be a successful person at all. If at all we do want to become a successful human being, all what is needed is that we need to set priorities, and we need to set the right side. We need to choose the right sort of items as our priorities. Then only we shall be able to succeed. And look upon the people, as I earlier said, that who have chosen the wrong things as their priorities, they will be a failure at all. Now there is another thing. This is the number one item, which is very very important for us to. The number two important is that we should be ready. We should be ready to sacrifice all the trivial things and all the things which are not trivial, but these are not amongst our priorities. First of all, we should be very ready to sacrifice all the items which are of trivial importance to me. Number two, even the things which are not of trivial importance, which are somewhat important, but to protect our priorities, to protect the number one, the number two, the number three, the number four, the number four, for five priority in my life, I should be ready to sacrifice the things which might be important to me, but obviously not as important as my top five priorities. So this is what we need to understand. Unless and until we do not understand it, unless and until we do make our commitment to it, we do take it very seriously. Let me tell you with enough amount of confidence that we are not going to be a successful person at all, even if we are a talented human being, even if we are serious human being, because whatever we have been achieving, whatever we wanted to achieve first, these were unimportant. These were not the most important things in my life. So this is what we need to understand, and this is what we need to act upon. Thank you. Jazakallah.